Hey, what's up, humans? It's your favorite demon, Raze Silva, back with another video, and today got something very different from what I've been doing. Little fact about me is I enjoy I enjoy hunting. It is my only outdoor activity that I actually partake in. And thus, I thought it would be kind of fun to do like a little series with MeatEater. Yeah, I don't really have anything else to say other than that. So I don't know how will go. Hopefully, y'all enjoy it. You know, kind of want to, because I don't want to do just Whole Live and Ruby uh, videos and stuff. I want to like be a little bit more than that. And this is an activity. Hunting is kind of something that I enjoy, and you know, I've never seen a watch along. This isn't so much a reaction because I mean I kind of have watched these. Um, so this is more of like a watch along series, I guess. Uh, but yeah, link will be in the description. And let's jump into this.
When it comes to getting my hands on the best tasting game meat, I'll go anywhere. On this trip, I'm hunting Sitka blacktail deer in southeast Alaska. But in this no man's land, you gotta work for your game.
I'd also like to point out, this isn't something you just do. Like, if you do, because one, you have to have the money to do all of this, 100%. Like, you have to have money, and two, you have to have a lot of discipline and a lot of a lot of know-hows. Like this isn't something you just go out and do.
I've ever seen.
I'm Steven Ranella. To me, hunting isn't only about the pursuit of an animal. It's about who we are and what we're made of. It's about sustenance, survival. It's about connecting to the land. It's about the purity of the challenge. It's about life. In each and every one of us, there is a primal instinct to hunt and consume. I live to hunt and hunt to live. I am a meat eater.
I've actually hunted Sitka's
I've done a lot of
Blacktail
hunting
before.
here, but there's one area in the high country of Tongass National Forest that is rumored to be an unexplored hunting ground for the elusive Sitka blacktail deer. The thing is, it's hard as hell to get to, but here you've got a chance to hunt for animals that have never laid eyes on a human before. The only way to get in here is to fly in with a bush pilot, try to land on a lake, and get dropped off for.
I will say anything in Alaska, like you're gonna have a rough time. Alaskan weather is very unforgiving, no matter what time of the year, and does not care what you were trying to do.
A few days. The terrain is hairy and the weather can turn quickly. That means you're stranded until a plane can fly back in. So it's a bit risky. But for me, the risks are worth taking in order to get a chance to hunt where very few hunters have gone before and where some of the.
I will say he's much more dramatic, like especially early on. And I'm assuming that's because this was kind of brand new, and anything with brand new, it's like you have that mindset: is this gonna work? It's kind of like me doing this watch along. I don't know if this is gonna be a thing. I want it to be a thing because again, this is something I do enjoy in my actual personal life. but he is much more dramatic in these earlier episodes, and he very much becomes much more like real and relatable as this goes on.
Finest game meat in the world can be had. And ultimately, that's what really matters to me. I mean, I like monster critters and trophy bucks as much as the next guy, but I like good meat even more. And
I could care less about monster bucks. And I've gotten a lot of flack for this from time to time. I don't, because I sadly, I wish I had the ability to hunt like Steve does.
just doesn't get much better than the
I'm gonna let it
venison
play.
you'll find around these parts.
I just saw a nice buck.
Oh man, I bet you they're all over up here.
Oh yeah, that
I've never been to this lake, and the pilot.
all of this is nothing but just pure, unadulterated like bedding for deer. Like they will stay in there. But yeah,
Hasn't landed in this lake either. Rumor has it there's good blacktail up here, but the big problem is tonight they're calling for massive winds, like 60-mile-an-hour gusts tonight. My plan is to get down on this lake and get a good camp set up where I can tough it out for the night, then tomorrow hopefully get a break in the weather and be able to do something. Feeling bad about the weather, but I'm feeling good about the fact that I've seen 2 bucks circling around.
I packed enough food and gear for 3 days, plus a little extra in case the pilot can't land back in here during bad weather.
just
I
smart.
gotta find a spot to camp where I'm a little bit sheltered from the wind. I'm nervous about this 65-mile-an-hour.
He has. I will say, hang on. This is the
Pilot can't land back in here during bad weather.
and I guess it can't be helped because of where he's at, but this. Oh, okay, he does have a scope cover on. I thought his scope wasn't covered. I was like, bro, how do you? I should have known he had a scope cover. Like I was about to be like, bro, like look at all this like water and shit like all over your gun, and you got okay. Never mind.
I gotta find a spot to camp where I'm a little bit sheltered from the wind. I'm nervous about this 65-mile-an-hour wind for sure. And I'm gonna resist the urge to run up the mountain and start hunting. Because if I do that, I just know the weather's gonna turn when I'm up there, then I'm gonna come down and everything's gonna be a total mess. So I'm gonna try to get everything safe and waterproof. Then I can strike out, boom, up the mountain and start hunting. If it starts blowing dangerously bad, I'll come squirting back down to camp and hole up for the night.
It always messes with you because when you're flying over an area, it just seems like you just grease everywhere you want to go, no problem. Then you get down and you realize how much like just topography is.
From a plane, when you're 1,000 feet up, things just seem kind of flat and navigable. So hitting the ground was a bit of a reality check. You realize that brush you thought that was maybe knee high is head high. And little hills that you thought you just kind of pop over and have a look are a significant climb. That it's really hard to.
Yeah, no, like all, and even from a distance, like you can look at something and be like, oh, well, that's not that bad, and then you walk up on it and you're like, oh shit, okay.
Hunt. It's not that there aren't deer there. I think there's deer all over here. But I'll have a much better chance of finding a stalkable buck once I gain enough elevation to get above the thick brush.
We're now entering into like country where there's deer that you can hunt. When I get to some good spots where I can see some land around me, I'm gonna try some calling. And if we raise something up, we'll at least know it's there. Down in that stuff, man, it's like, you know, you could step on one, you wouldn't even know he was in there.
I like hunting on foot. Feasibly, in this area, you can walk on ground that people maybe haven't walked on, maybe in 100 years, maybe never. If I come into an area, I got a few days to hunt. My initial thoughts are about exploring the area out. for me to climb a peak, so much more motivated to climb the peak if I got a tag in my pocket and I'm hunting. It's like Everest, unless there's some kind of cool animal up there you can hunt, I just would never be motivated to go up there. If there was some kind of crazy sheep that lived on Everest, though, I'd be the first guy up there.
I believe him. I believe him about that. As many times as I've heard Steve kind of talk about this kind of stuff, I 100% believe him. He would 100% be up that bitch if there was something if there was some kind of thing that he would be like, oh, okay. Bro. Look at all that. I know there's a lot of people that give hunters shit, mostly vegans, vegetarians. And I think that's because they've met a lot of really, really shit hunters. Actually getting an animal is a bonus. This, which me and Steve will disagree, I think, on this a little bit. He's in it for the actual he's in it for the actual animal. Most normal hunters, though, I will say, who they don't hunt for a living, and it's just an extra activity. This is what we're here for. All of this. And if we actually get something, that's the bonus. Also, I'm going to throw this out here right now. If you're hunting for sport, you're a piece of shit. If you're gonna hunt, if you're hunting for sport, you're just killing at that point. If you're gonna hunt, make it so that it's because you're wanting the meat. You're gonna eat. It's because you want to eat that animal, and you're gonna not waste it. I hate trophy hunters. And I would make the argument that a lot of hunters hate trophy hunters. A lot of real hunters hate people that they're just in it for the sport. Those people deserve the shit that they get. It's just quiet.
My guess, and I hope I'm wrong, my guess is a lot of deer are gonna be hunkered down in this wind. Probably on the lee side of these hills.
He's 100% right. And I feel that deer will hunker down for every single little thing and will not move. Or if they do, it's it's gonna be when they know for a fact no one's around. Oh, hello.
There's a buck staring at us right now.
He's looking right at you. He's like, what was that? It's a nice little buck. He's decent size actually for what he is, but like. Seeing how far? Yeah, like.
I got a forky blacktail. About under 200 yards out. It's just going through my mind. Is it like coming in here? I had like, I don't know, man. I was kind of thinking I'd wind up with a big, huge buck, but I'm also thinking about winding up with a bunch of buck meat. So I got that here now. I think
Trying
the
to see if
smartest
he
thing
would
to do
be,
is
if he would be
take this
considered
buck
legal
here.
where I live. I don't think he is. I think he would be one out. He's probably one I would be forced to.
He just went behind some brush. So.
No, he's gone.
Oh, there.
Oh. He's not interested. I will say one thing that me and Steve do very, very differently is he'll like move away from his gun to like constantly like go back to the binoculars. If there's a deer, I'm looking at him through the scope. And I'm gonna watch him through the scope.
That buck, now he drifted off.
Like I'm never gonna take my eye off of the deer to switch over to something else to look at it.
Around the other side. I know I'm gonna I'm gonna totally wind up regretting it. Not taking that shot, but it's like I said, I just landed, just got here.
That's another thing. And I know somebody who has this mentality of, you know, I just got here. I can't be shooting something, you know, just yet. I'm gonna wait. 90% of the time, if you do that, you're not gonna see shit after that. And then you're gonna be sitting there like, damn, I should have taken that shot. It's a stupid mindset, I think. It's like if you get the opportunity, take it. Just because something else might come along that you might like a little bit more, like, I don't think is worth it.
I just need to walk a little more and I'll be ready to get a deer.
I have that just innate hunter's curiosity about what's over the next hill. And everything about this buck says, shoot me and eat. But you start playing tricks in your mind and you're like, well, I'll wait, maybe I'll get a big one. Even though I know that in a couple days, I might be totally hungry for a buck that size, but I'm not ready to fill my tag. Just because I want.
And again, it's a stupid mindset to have. And I feel like a lot of people will fall into that trap where they're like, you know what, no, just if you're worried about getting a big buck, you're hunting wrong. I will say I think this is one of the big things I have this against Steve here is, yes, he's hunting for the meat, but he's also really obsessed with getting like a really nice looking buck. I think if getting a good look, like a big buck, is one of your concerns, I think you're doing it wrong.
Want to check some more area out. Beyond just the difficulty of the topography and difficulty of the brush is the difficulty of the weather. No one likes to hunt in rain, but here you're up in the clouds. So you wind up having a lot of periods where animals just vanish.
I'd have my gun covered.
So I'm gonna just try to hunker down out of the wind somewhere. Wait for this to blow through.
Because he's got his scope covered. But I'd be covering the barrel right here with something.
To get an idea,
Because he's got all
of
that water
how
just
bad
going in.
the fog can be. The minute I start getting up to the crest and I'm starting to poke my head up, I realize there's this gorgeous bowl, this kind of boggy bowl below me that looks just like perfect deer country. And right away, boom, big buck.
A nice buck down there staring at us.
I can just see his body's obscured, but I can see his neck and his head poking up. I move myself so that I can move a little higher without spooking him. I'm not kidding you, within seconds a fog bank rolls in and the buck vanishes into the fog.
Yep.
I cannot find that buck. That was a nice big buck.
And I sit there and wait, just praying that the fog is gonna lift. Waiting, waiting, waiting. Then it starts to rain.
Now that deer's gone.
It's just, I can't believe this. It's a nice buck down there.
I can. That's 100% how that works.
You just can't see a thing.
I feel that.
I don't know how much longer I can sit here waiting for this to clear up.
It's not going to, bro.
I sit there a full hour in a steady downpour and eventually realize this buck's just gonna get a pass because I gotta head back to camp before dark.
Like, especially like after an hour,
And I
like
also-
that deer's gone. Like, just straight up, he's not there anymore. He's gone.
Let the factor in that the fog's so thick, I'm not even gonna be able to see camp. I gotta stumble right into it. I just lost the whole day's climb. Finally got onto a buck, and in that very moment, got hit by fog and had my stalk blown. I mean, that kind of will show you a little bit about what this area is all about. But it still really is a paradise. It's just something you gotta work for and hunt for hard.
Well, she comes back to this place like quite often, so.
It's my second day out hunting in Tongass National Forest in southeast Alaska, and I finally get a break in the weather. I'm not an hour into the day's hunt, and I spot a nice buck, but he's way out there.
It's more than 1,600 yards. I'll tell you that. Take a look, find out.
Yeah, at that point, it's just like, nah.
It's a long way to go, and I'll have to locate him again once I get over there. But right now, that direction is looking better than any alternative. When I finally get to the area where I saw him, I spook him.
Big
Oh.
buck, big buck.
He's gone. Oh, nope, he stopped.
He's up on that ridgeline, 350 yards out.
Too high.
I don't know.
I wanted that big buck, and I rushed my shot. Just high. I blew it.
That was the biggest blacktail I've ever seen.
Yeah, that was he's a big boy.
Hunting involves missing, man. I mean, anybody who acts like it doesn't is full of it. And if I'm watching the show where there's been a lot of stuff edited out, A lot of stuff got left by the wayside so that some guy could look like a total badass.
I know I screwed up and missed that buck clean.
It is always better to miss clean than to wound. Like he's beating himself up a little bit here, and again, you know, that's a thing that most hunters do. But there is always something when we miss, and we know it's a miss. Our first thought, or at least my first thought, is let it be a clean miss.
Yeah.
I know when I miss because the deer run.
A good old-fashioned miss, for sure.
If I shoot if I'm shooting at something and that deer runs, I missed it. And end of.
But this day is kind of over. I head back to camp for now. Get up and get cracking in the morning.
But before I reach camp, the rain and fog let up and I take a minute to glass the edge of a lake for the final hour of the day. And I'm glad I do.
Got a buck up here.
It's a little fort.
A little grassy slide coming down out of the tip.
Might be a different fork, but it's still a fork. Good night.
Down.
All right. Oh, man. Can't believe it.
There are some of these he doesn't get anything,
Cannot believe I saw that buck.
which is good.
Got a bunch of landmarks
Because,
picked out.
You
I
know,
think I got it big enough.
you're
fix
not
on
going to
where
get
he is
something
and
every
where
single
I
time
am.
you go hunting.
I'll go over
It's
and
just
find
not
that
how
buck.
that works.
Nice.
Steve here has a lot better chance of getting stuff than most people because of the places that he hunts. But for the vast majority of people, chances are you're going to leave with nothing.
Coastal rainforest.
That's a nice buck, though.
Sitka Blacktail, man. Sweet. This is awesome. I'm running low on daylight, definitely. It's raining pretty good. What I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna gut this thing, take a waypoint on it, come back and butcher it tomorrow. There's no way to get it back to camp in one piece, so I gotta break it down and carry it myself. I'd just rather do it right, do it slow later, than trying to rush it now with darkness. So once I gut him, I need to get him all flushed out. He's gonna air out for the night, and I'll be back up here first thing in the morning. So that's nice and clean now.
Lucky for
I'm
him,
not gonna lie
he
to
is
you,
right
like,
next
I
to that
always have
stream.
visions of, you know, big monster buck racks. But at the end of the day, bar none, this is gonna be the finest venison you can get your hands on right here. A young buck, a lot of fat, pre-rut. I mean, I love big racks. I like meat even more.
Which is how it should be. Like, I want to go to
This is
I want to
definitely
go
the
to Alaska so
nicest
bad.
morning we've had. Probably the nicest morning we're gonna get. Go up and pick up that deer we left laying. Got everything I need to pack it out. Let's go. Hope he's all right. So I do want to come in here cautiously, make sure I'm not stumbling across a bear. This island here,
Yeah.
black bear island, which means you don't need to worry as much. I mean, black bears are kind of you know, not particularly scary. Oh, totally undisturbed. I can take this whole animal out of my back. Once I get rid of a few of the parts, the hide, the extremities, I'll be able to take all the quarters out right on my backpack.
Woohoo!
Here you can see the entrance hole from that 7mm rem mag I'm shooting. There's the entrance hole. Considering the angle of that deer was angling toward me a little bit, I would have been smart to move that shot a little bit more forward because it exited back behind, nicked the stomach on the way through. So in my mind, a perfect hit is a clean punch. In the ribs, out the ribs, just for lung. I don't shoot for heart because I don't like the bullet to go through and trash all kinds of meat on the opposite shoulder. I would much rather lose a little bit of rib meat on each side than lose 10 pounds of shoulder meat. So for me, shot placement, I'm a rib guy, I'm a lung guy. I don't shoot for heart generally.
I'm gonna say something. Biggest point of contention I have. That's a good shot. What he's talking about. Shoot him in the neck. I know a lot of people get really like, about that. If you do neck shots, there's two things that'll happen. The first thing, and this is the big thing. They don't run. They will never run. If you take a neck shot and you hit, they're gonna hit the ground right there. They're done. Thing with the shot that he's talking about, which is the behind the shoulder, the classic, the one that everybody says to do. Yes, you can do that, but there is a 50-50 chance that deer is gonna run. So if you don't want to track, you don't want to look for this deer at all, you just want to go over, get them, you're done, do a neck shot. Just do it. And two, you don't have to worry about losing all of the shoulder meat. Like you'll lose some of like the neck roast, but like, in all honesty, I think that's not that bad, especially if you're someone like Steve that you like heart. All of that will remain intact. You'll never have to worry about any of that. You'll never have to worry about nicking the stomach like what he did. You'll never have to worry about any of that. Like, you'll never have to worry about your shot going back and you accidentally, like, gut shooting, which is... I remember when I started hunting, like, that was one of my biggest fears, is I was scared to death I was going to accidentally, like, gut shoot a deer. And that would have been horrible. But yeah, just do a neck shot. It's much easier, and again, like, you'll never have to track them. And if you're doing a neck shot and they run, you missed. Just outright. So, I mean...
40 pounds of prime.
Anybody is like, oh, well, that's it. It's like, they're dead by the time they hit the ground. I'm just going to throw that out there. Like, you do the next shot, I promise you, they're dead. They have no idea what just happened. They're gone.
Organic, free range, mainly harvested. Dead meat. To understand why I like hunting Tongass National Forest in southeast Alaska so much, you really have to consider where I grew up. And I grew up in western Michigan. And there, hunting was like 90% about dealing with competition and land ownership, and it was 10% about hunting. When I started discovering the West and hunting on big tracts of national forest, where the difficulty of access winds up giving you chances for like exclusive opportunities on animals, it was a watershed moment in my life. It's a place where,
Oh yeah, it's a night and day, 100%.
if you've got the fortitude, you're gonna get into some sweet hunting. I'm getting ready to cook the venison loin up. So I got my stove going, got some oil, got my little mini fry pan. We'll cook a couple minutes. It's already cooked. I mean, I like raw meat, super rare meat. Oh man, I can tell
He's not kidding. I've seen him just throw shit on a stick and be like, all right.
you right now, this is gonna be good. You come into an area to hunt, all your senses take it in.
Yeah, like that's,
Once you go
damn, that's
through all that, it just seems to me like
that's some good stuff.
it's short-sightedness or just like a major shortcoming to not also like take it in with taste and take it into your body. You got to get in there and sink your teeth into what you're after. You want this wildness to become part of you. Without it, the experience is incomplete.
All right. So, I said, this was a lot different than what I normally do. Hopefully, this goes over well. Because, like I said, I would like for this to kind of be a thing. Because, again, this is something I enjoy outside of, the normal nerdy and weeb stuff that I normally go in for. And it's a lot of fun. Plus, I don't care how many times I've watched these. Like, I enjoy them. I think this is one of the better hunting series that's out there. Like, you'll always learn something, and also also you'll have my kind of 2 cents on some things. So you're getting like two different forms of advice, and neither one of them is really wrong. Like, while I will agree sometimes with Steve, he's not wrong in a lot of in what he's saying. I'm just saying that there is also a different way. Anyway, link will be in the description as always. If you enjoyed this, hit like and subscribe. Also, let me know in the comment section, like, if you found this interesting at all. If you I really want to know what y'all think. So anyway, I will catch y'all in the next one. Peace.